Hello, 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 hello. Yes, this is Ephraim Osagai. So great to be back live with you guys on this live stream. I thought to do this because it's been a while and quite a lot has happened in the space of immigration globally, not just only Australia. Australia will always be our base case. So I thought about just having my current client uh, in mind and also potential clients who are interested exploring skill migration options and visa options. Um, there's so much going on, and I know that there are lots of questions, lots of conversations that need to be had. So this session is dedicated to Q&As, questions. I can't boast that I'll be able to answer every question, but if I can just dedicate the time to providing answers to questions as much as I can, that will be the focus. That's a priority. So you can use your comment session to ask questions. Even if I'm sharing from the slides, as soon as questions come up, I will get off and direct my attention to your question. So please feel free, even if you see these post-production, still ask questions. Any question around migration, visas, with Australia as a context, I'll try to provide answers as much as I can. Now, I put it already in this post, and I need to emphasize that again. I cannot offer immigration advice via this platform. We're not allowed to, even in terms of our regulatory bodies, not just because of regulations. I may give you wrong advice on the go, so it's always important to take questions that require immigration legal advice offline. So just going back to that slide again, skilled migration and visas to Australia. Now I'm using Australia as a case study, but most of the issues we're facing in Australia migration system, or most of the factors are quite applicable to many other jurisdictions. So even if you're not looking at Australia, this short clip will still be useful to you. If I don't get too many questions, that's fine. I would just make it short and sweet, and then later people can ask questions when you see the post-production. So just as a matter of introduction, let me first of all just bring this slide. I consider myself quite fitting, if I may use that word, to be able to offer some thoughts in this space. I bring a lot of diversity in terms of the countries I've worked in, I've studied in, I've taken residence in at various episodes of my career. So when we talk about migration, cultural diversity, working as an expert, relocation, cultural intelligence, I have a bit of knowledge in this space. You can see that I shared 8 countries here. I've visited many others, but for these 8 countries, I stayed there. I worked there for a while, so a bit of cultural intelligence. I could say that I have knowledge in that area. In terms of study as well, it's quite diverse. Science, migration, engineering, business administration, leadership, counseling, people care, people side of things. So there is also that level of diversity, and of course, in terms of my multidisciplinary knowledge as well. I work across industries, and I'm also very active in the community space. I lead communities. I speak at community events. I write in this space as well. I got a couple of books which I will share later. So just a snapshot about me. To give a picture that I have some lived experience. So even before becoming a registered migration agent, I've been in that space. I have worked in that space. I have provided community support in that space. I have experienced the different emotions involved in migration and settling into a new country. I also appreciate different voices. It's okay to try and bring balance into this space. So today, I highlighted a few visa options there. There are, in Australia, for example, there are many visas, but in terms of my organization, Sustainable Migration Services, we are primarily focused on skilled visas and all the associated visas, because once you have skilled professionals, of course, they will have families and partners that will join them at the beginning or later. Sometimes you may have to come through study and training before you can become a skilled resident or permanent resident in Australia. So there are different pathways, but everything around skilled migration, skilled visas is where Sustainable Migration Services provide our niche kind of service. Of course, we could also offer support for visitors visas and a few other visa types, but this is our core visa space. I put there the text I have here. They may look busy, but they are all intentional. That line there that says value and productivity are undeniable. We know what has happened recently in the migration and visa space. There are few members of the community, which we have to always make room for different voices. But there are few people that believe that or that think that migration may become the number of migrants in the country have become too many, or for whatever reasons. But I put a line there that where you bring value and productivity, you can hardly be denied. And I offer my service from that space. It's very important to have that in mind. Now, I want to first of all highlight one clear thing. Irrespective of the noise going on in this space, sometimes different opinions, different voices, opportunities are still there for migration and visas to Australia, for example. And I think for some other countries as well, the opportunities are there because the need for skilled workers is still there. I can tell you that I'm active in the industry. I'm involved often in consulting in the mining and oil and gas industry. The need for skilled migrants is still real. But it must be balanced because recently it's a bit streamlined, and that could be for a good reason, and I can tell you that because the government over time have taken stock and realized that it cannot be business as usual. So there have been various policy changes recently, and the focus is now on skills in demand. There's even a visa that is actually called exactly that, SID, skills in-demand visas. So it's very obvious that the emphasis is on skills that are in high demand. Health sciences, nurses, medical doctors of different types and specialization, engineering, construction, trades, education, academics. So it's visa, I mean, in terms of skills outside those kind of demands, it becomes a bit harder, at least for Australia, I can say that. So opportunities are there, but they are streamlined. Can I just say again, just pause here? I can see that one or two persons are staying with me. I am doing this presentation to fill the gap. I want to answer questions for those that may have questions, my clients or potential clients. If you have questions, any question around visas and immigration, of general nature, I cannot give specific advice. I will pause and provide some feedback to those questions. But I'll keep going on while waiting for that. So the key question here is really skilled visas, skilled in demand visas, employer. The other factor that has become very, very, that's worth mentioning here is that the focus on employer sponsorship is also very high. Sometimes some people, I don't know, some members of some stakeholders believe that maybe it's too much, the power vested on employers. But I think the thinking behind this is that before you come into the country, you would have demonstrated that you are employable, and you, even preferably, you already have employment, and it's just the best for everyone, all parties involved. So that is the spirit behind employer sponsorship. So for those kind of visas, you would have demonstrated that the employer would have had some sponsorship approved, and then show evidence that they've employed the candidate, show evidence that the candidates are being paid properly according to standards. So it's one of the popular visas around, but unfortunately for some, without employment, you can't even start the process for the visas. The same thinking around state and regional sponsor visas. There are different parts of the country where the need for skilled workers are more like regional areas. So if you're happy, you're flexible, you can go to these areas. Of course, regional areas have their significant advantages. I say it for myself, maybe earlier in my career, I would have loved to go regional. There are lots of incentives for going regional. And like I said earlier on, once you are skilled visa holders, of course, their family members, their partners would like to join them either at the beginning or later. Students, you can confess as a student and then gradually go towards skilled and then permanent visas. So those are the core visa options that we in Sustainable Migration Services that we are really focused on, and we are developing some level of expertise in that area. We're active in the industry in that area. We have lived experience in that area. We have proof of delivery in that area as well. So at this stage, I would just say that if you want us to have a chat, get in touch. I always tell people this is what I want to flag. This page is one of the pages on our website. In this post, I put the website link there. I'm a big supporter of doing an initial consult. don't just rush into any visa. Of course, if you have all that it takes to achieve a decision-ready application early enough, then why not go straight to the visa? But as an organization, we always suggest book a consult, and a consult will involve a little bit of looking at your options. This is where I bring my knowledge in project management into bear, the agile framework, where sometimes you start early. You don't have to have all the details in front of you first, but you have enough that we can actually have a look for you, help you brainstorm your options, look at what you are qualified for, and in the process, some things may come up you may not have thought about. You may have a better pathway. You may better ground your suitability for the visa. So it may look like for some people maybe that's some big cost, but yeah, if you're really serious about getting it right first time, getting it right, putting the best decision-ready application, it's better to have an initial consult where we provide a comprehensive research, a comprehensive investigation of your options. And then by the time you go in for the visa application, you have a higher chance of putting in your best application. The good thing here, I must say, we have a promotion going on. This cost you would have spent on initial consult. If you decide to continue the visa application process with us, this cost will be deducted. Of course, less the tax that goes to government anyway, will be deducted from your visa application fees. So yeah, you really do not have much to lose other than getting it right from the beginning. So this is actually one of our suggestions. I'm just checking here if I have questions. I don't have question yet. So like I said earlier on, I'm not really here to come do a long presentation. The idea is to just unpack some of the key considerations when it comes to visa application, particularly using Australia as a base case. We have a slogan there: migration is more than migrating. There's so much going on in this space. You don't want to be over invested in something that you didn't prepare too much for. You want to make sure you preserve your value. We are big on value and productivity. We believe someone that brings value can be hardly denied. Australia, for example, I'm telling you, still looking for skilled, high value professionals. So if you have the value to offer, I keep saying it, you can hardly be denied. So even if you see this post-production later, you can still ask questions. I'll get back to it, provide answers as much as I can, provide clarity to any aspects you may have questions about. Sustainable Migration Services is part of TriW Group that also includes TriW Project Management Services, actively working in the industry. We're out there in the field, and also WISE Counselling and EAP Services. We bring the human side to things. We believe that people should be treated properly, and where you need some support, even in mental health, we can provide that along the way. So it's quite holistic, and that is how we want to keep it in Sustainable Migration Services. Let me just flag here, I have a couple of books. I've been active in this space These books are all in Amazon. Handbook for Migrants, that was quite early, and 2016, 2017 or so. Really pour my heart, lived experience. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. People coming do not have to make the same mistakes. So you can learn from mentors, stories from others, and then be wiser in your own journey. Top Insider's Guide to Successful and Stable Careers. That was one time #1 bestseller in Amazon. Adopt, Adapt, Achieve, Migration and Family. So these books are out there. Again, part of cultural intelligence, part of your preparations. Like I said, we believe in holistic approach. Migration is more than migrating. It's more than that visa. The visa is not the end in itself. It's a means. So we're quite passionate in providing that holistic support. Yeah, I'll just bring it to a close point. If you have questions, I know that some people may be busy at the time we air this live stream. So later on, you have questions, put it there. You can go to our website, put it on our website. If you want us to start working with you, just to brainstorm, like I said earlier on, I still want to emphasize that initial consult, massive value in that. It's like rather than spending too many upfront or too much upfront, and sometimes much effort on all sides, from our side as migration consultant, and on your side as an applicant. You can first of all just book an initial consult where we can dig deep, look at your case, provide you comprehensive feedback, provide you guidance, and then make sure your application is decision ready. That is how we prefer to do it. But we also have clients that are really, really ready. They go through this process. You can go straight and do that. So I'd like to bring it to a close. Didn't want to spend so much time on just presenting. I was ready to provide answers to questions that may come up. But yeah, so still feel free to ask your questions later. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Yeah, drop me a line. Let's keep the conversation going. You can connect on our social media handles. Let us know if we can assist. I'll go back again to say the opportunities are there. Yes, it is streamlined now, visas and immigration. Focus on skills in demand, focus on employer sponsorship. But when you bring value, you cannot be denied. Even if Australia denies you, which I believe they don't, because they really want value, you can take your value elsewhere. The key thing is that you have the value. And we really love dealing with clients with value. We believe in value. All right, let's keep connection going, and we'll chat with you later. Thank you for your time. Appreciate. Drop us a line. Let's keep connecting. Bye-bye.